Men are not facing a lonely epidemic. A lot of men are facing what's called a karmic return. Everybody keeps calling it a male loneliness epidemic. And yes, some men are lonely. But if we're being real, a lot of what we're witnessing is just a karmic return. Because for generations, men were taught that they didn't need emotion. They were taught that they needed access. Access to a woman's body. Access to her nurturing. Access to her emotional labor. Access to her softness. Access to her womb, her home, her loyalty, her forgiveness, and her unpaid therapy. But most men were never taught how to become a safe place for that very thing that they want access to. So now a lot of women are waking up. They're healing, they're setting standards, they're choosing peace, they're leaving one-sided connections. They're no longer auditioning to be picked by emotionally unavailable men. And now men are meeting the consequences of the very system that they benefited from. That's why this is not just about loneliness. This is what happens when you spend thousands of years being emotionally disconnected, avoidant, entitled, emotionally lazy, commitment phobic, and only showing up when you're about to lose access. Metaphysically, this is what we call a karmic return. Psychologically, this is emotional underdevelopment colliding with women awakening. Spiritually, this is a harvest season. Because eventually, every pattern comes back to collect. And baby, the universe is collecting right now.
So many black men date and marry outside of their race for a social boost, for a...
So the issue I have with this explanation is that if it applies to men, which let's assume that it does, it most definitely applies to women also. This book, The Dating Divide, Race and Desire in the Era of Online Romance, was written by sociologists, and what it does is look at dating patterns today. What it found was that all men of all races primarily preferred women from their own race first, whereas women of all races had a preference for white men first. And then they had a preference for men of their own race. So when you want to talk about social mobility and the desire to move up, you have to include black women in that conversation, not based upon what I made up, but just based upon the evidence. And this is one of the issues that I have with these kinds of conversations. It can hyper focus on what men are doing wrong, what black men are doing wrong, and we're never really looking in the mirror as women. You mean to tell me that black men are the only ones who desire social mobility, but black women don't? Arguably more so, based upon the evidence. That is what we have found. And so I think if we continue to have these conversations that are really based upon maybe our own ideas or anecdotal experiences, but do not include data from actual sociologists and studies that can help shape these conversations, then it can start to promote misinformation. And in my opinion, it can really help fuel this unnecessary gender divide. That's not really helping anyone.
The finer I get, the richer I get, the smarter I get. It's not a delusion. I mean, I can show you pictures. Okay. I can show you stats.
I'm going to show you a stat right now. Men between 18 years old to 60 years old, when polled, undoubtedly preferred women between 18 to 24 years old. Period. That's a fact.
What do you prefer?
I prefer younger women.
You prefer how old? So how old are you?
Yeah.
Because I want to know, how old are you? And then when you're bringing home these 22, 23-year-olds, what are you really trying to get from them?
Yeah.
I don't know how to do this.
I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. She barely know how to even make you come from head.
Are you a man?
No, I'm a woman.
So
I'm telling you.
Okay, so it doesn't matter what you think because you're not a man. Yeah. Men don't look for the same things that women do. And this is what I laugh at because women think they know what men want, but y'all really have zero clue. You want experience. You want money. You want competence. Guess what I want? I want the opposite. Yeah. I'm supposed to be a strong masculine man who's a leader who could pay for things and take care of a woman. I need a woman that's not going to... No, I don't care about competency. Most men don't.
It's crazy.
Most men don't give a shit at all about a woman's competency. What they're more important with is she competent to follow my lead and be moldable to what I want. Yeah. Men want younger women. I'm 33 years old. I'll be damned if I date a 33-year-old woman. That's a shame.
I don't know about you, but...
Men are finally waking up. They are starting to see that being loyal, giving, and doing everything right does not mean that you will be appreciated. Too many good men have been bruised by women that only saw them as a wallet, a handyman, or an emotional punching bag. Those same men are now choosing themselves They are choosing peace as well over pressure of the world that they have to be a husband and a father. They're literally protecting their hearts. And that's not because they don't love women. They are tired of being drained by the wrong women. If women do not see that y'all are paying attention to exactly who some of us are, and some of us are just not for the right thing, they are falling to societal pressures, their little circle that's around them, their mothers, their aunties, their sisters, their friends. They want them to be the leaders in the relationship. And that's just not how it works in this world. What we say doesn't go all the time. When you're in a relationship, you have to work together as two, not as one that is being put on this pedestal that they have to get everything done for them and men have to do what women are saying. It does not work like that. Pretty doesn't work anymore. It's not about what we look like. It's about how we treat men and how they feel. And when the man knows his worth, he not gonna stay for no drama. The new standards are for women is that you have to bring peace. You have to pour back into him. It's about a woman that understands that love isn't about taking. It's about building with that man and not trying to build on him. I truly believe that the era of good men is not ended, but good men have woken up and they understand their worth.
The only people I ever see say body count doesn't matter are feminist women and pleasure-driven men who benefit from casual hookups. And both of them are hurting women. Here's the thing about feminist women who say body count doesn't matter. Ask them what theirs is and they won't even tell you. And that tells you everything. The things that truly don't matter to you, you talk about freely. You don't have to hesitate. And the fact that they go quiet means they already know. They know that a high body count isn't something to be proud of. They just don't want to be held accountable for it. A lot of these feminist women, they say they want a masculine man, they say they want love and they want commitment. They're always the ones asking, why are there no good men left? Because they refuse to listen to what men actually want. Masculine men, I'm not talking about the ones that are chasing hookups, I'm talking about masculine men, have said over and over again that body count matters to them. And women call them misogynistic for it instead of just listening. If you want a man to commit to you, at some point you have to care about what he actually wants. You can't reject everything that a man values and then wonder why he won't commit to you. Body count doesn't matter until you want to get into a relationship with a purpose-driven masculine man, then it matters a lot.
So that this is us that he's talking about, right? This is our generation that he's talking about, right? They prefer men. They prefer men. They prefer men who are emotionally available, good communicators, and share similar values. Emotionally available, strike 1. Good communicator, strike 2. And share similar values, strike 3. Too many of us are emotionally stunted. We do not communicate well, and we come in utilizing misogyny in order to attract these women. And we really think these women want us, dog? Come on, son. Come on, son. I be telling y'all be talking y'all way out of.
Why are there so many women today who say they don't need a man?
I mean, because if they want to go 50-50 on things, I just don't need them.
Because there's a lot of bum men out in the world who don't do enough so us women can supply for ourselves now.
Because they're feminists and they like to be feminists.
If a man has friends, doesn't want kids, hires a maid and hires a... Why would a man need a woman?
I don't know how to answer this question.
Because of human connection, of meaningful connection, to correct myself. Just, there's nothing that replaces the authenticity of a partnership.
Right. Men need women in a sense because, you know, I don't know, like, they need our love. You know what I mean?
True. You can't really get true intimacy with a... You can bust a nut, but that's about it.
Who tends to get into a relationship first after a divorce, men or women?
I think men, on average, from what I've seen, tend to either be in a relationship already before they're divorced or tend to get into another relationship soon thereafter. That's not news. That's not a surprise. We all know that. But why? Guys do that, I think, in large part because instead of focusing on what's in here that they need to work on and fix and improve, they look outwardly. They look for something else to make them feel better about themselves or whatever's going on in their life, rather than looking inside and realizing that all of the issues they've ever really had have been here, and you got to fix them here.
People think dating in your 30s as a single mom means you come with baggage. Actually, it means my boundaries are ironclad. My peace is non-negotiable, my time is fiercely protected, and I already have a family that I prayed for. So you aren't stepping in to save me, you are applying to add value to a life that's already complete.
Down, but you still can't see me. I talk a lot.
You know, and a lot of modern women, they all they're really doing is putting another name on something that they made up. Men aren't facing a lonely epidemic. They're facing a karmic return. Basically, you know, you're getting karma for how you treated women. They really believe that. They really do. Regardless of if a man, and we have plenty of stories. Every story that you want to say a man has done a woman wrong, you have another story of a woman sitting up there admitting, yeah, I was at fault. It was me. When I was sitting up there talking to a man about all my problems and, you know, dumping all on him and sharing all my burdens and making him carry the emotional labor and the emotional load, everything was fine. Fantastic. When he was wiping my behind, I had brain surgery and twice back to back, and he had to do it for me both times. He had to take care of me. Everything was fine. But when it came time for me to give back, I had no interest in that. I have no interest in that. But yet it's somehow a man's fault that this quote unquote loneliness epidemic has happened. Because men have been doing such a terrible job, and women are not at fault at all.
I used to think that women, when they said all men were horrible, that was just something to say, but no, all men are actually horrible.
Hey, you need some help? Yeah. I got you for free. No charge.
I just need help. I just need a jack and a wrench.
I got all that.
You do?
You got a spare tire?
Yes.
All right.
Please, thank you so much.
I got you. Are you crying?
Yes, because I didn't know what I was gonna do.
I got you. Let me give you a hug.
Yes, can I have your number?
I got you. You don't gotta pay me nothing.
Now, I wanted to show that clip because this guy is on TikTok. He goes around helping people out when they're in the jam. He doesn't charge them anything. His name is The Roadside Tech. Y'all can go on TikTok or Instagram and check him out. And I wanted to show that clip because women like the first girl in this video, they always seem to forget this stuff. See, they only seem to talk about men when they do something bad to them. When Tyrone hit it or quit it or Chad ghost them or something like that. That's when they'll come online and say all men are bad. But they always seem to forget about these guys. This guy goes around helping people when they're in a jam on the highway or whatever. And you saw how grateful that girl was. She was crying. She was so happy, talking about she didn't know what she was going to do. I don't know why that was such a tough situation. You either call AAA or change the tire. Either way it goes, that man helped her, so it made her day better. But women like the first girl, they'll take 3 experiences that they've had with some bad men and they lump all of them in the same category. This is why the man versus bear argument is ridiculous, and all of the silly arguments these women make online talking about how bad men are, because they only speak about the bad men that they experience and they forget about all the men like this. Because if you think this is the only man out there doing something on the day-to-day for women, you are out of your mind. Men are doing things every day for women that they always seem to forget about. But I just want to share that with you guys. Make sure you go check out that guy's channel because what he is out there doing is really dope. Leave your thoughts on the video. Appreciate you watching. See you next time.
A lot of women say they want a strong man. They say they want a man who can lead, who knows what he wants, who makes decisions, who provides direction, all that masculine energy. But the second that kind of man actually shows up and starts taking the role, suddenly it's, don't tell me what to do. Why do you think you can control me? Who do you think you are? See the irony? You want structure, but you've been conditioned to see any form of masculine leadership as a threat. Because somewhere, maybe in your past, structure didn't feel safe. It felt like control. Maybe you had a father or a past partner who was controlling, who used power as punishment instead of protection. So now when a healthy man steps in and sets a boundary, you interpret it through the same lens of fear. But here's the truth. A healthy masculine man isn't trying to dominate you. He's trying to protect peace. He's not saying You can't do that. He's saying, I want us to move in alignment. I want to make sure we are safe. I want to build something stable. You can't keep screaming for safety and then reject the very energy that provides it. If you want to feel held, you have to stop fighting the hands that hold you. Masculine leadership, when it's healthy, isn't about control. It's about direction, clarity, and peace. And the moment you stop confusing protection with oppression, your entire experience of love will shift.
I just wish more women understood that men don't hate you. Men are hurting. Men are isolated. Men feel invisible. And nobody ever taught us to talk about it. And for the first time in history, men are falling behind across education, income, and even like emotional health. And that's what you're seeing. It's not hatred. It's not anger toward women. It's just men. We're drowning silently because they don't know where they fit in the world anymore. And we don't hate you. We admire you. We're inspired by you. But a lot of men feel like just like failures, not because of women, but because they've lost like their sense of worth in the world. And don't get me wrong, of course we love the advancement of women, but the world just suddenly stopped teaching boys how to become men. So, ladies, when you see a man who's distant, detached, or shut down, you're not seeing a man who hates women. You're seeing a man who doesn't feel like he's enough for anyone, including himself. Masculinity abandons a new boy every single day. Most men aren't fighting you. They're fighting themselves. And what they really want is just to be understood, respected, and seen again.
He's not single because he can't get women. He's single because most of the women nowadays are not worth the investment. Getting women is not difficult, but keeping peace, that's the rare part. Men just simply don't want to deal with the mixed signals, the attention seeking, trauma dumping. It just feels like psychological warfare and it's exhausting. We're out here battling inflation, working our asses off. So when we sit back and look at everything that is required to be in a relationship, it's just like, I'd rather stay single. A lot of women probably think that if he's single, maybe there's something wrong with him. But in reality, we really don't want to gamble our peace for temporary beauty. Now, some women can be worth it, sure. But if she's bringing stress, drama, headaches, disrespect, it's just like, yeah, I'd rather just sleep peacefully alone. Peace over beauty is key.
97% of women that go to college are not wifeable. And before you get emotional, studies have shown college-educated women are significantly more likely to delay marriage and prioritize career over family compared to previous generations. Going to college means spending 4 years conditioning women to be workers, to show up, follow instructions, climb the ladder, but by the time she graduates, she's perfectly trained to listen to her male boss more than her own man at home. Within those 4 years, women are placed into environments that normalize hookup culture, drinking, partying, hyper-independence, the whole I never need a man mindset, and also just the feminism that her college friends operate from. And because women are highly influenced by their environment, both emotionally and socially, most women unfortunately become products and conditioning of that culture without even realizing it. Not every woman, but 97% of women do, because a woman's natural instinct is to follow. And that natural follower instinct for women isn't a bad thing if they actually follow the right things. And let's be honest, it's hard to beat 4 years of indoctrination. That's why finding a feminine, family-oriented, disciplined woman today feels really rare. But don't worry, they're out there, but she just probably won't have a degree. And make sure to follow for more common sense content.
Men are giving up on dating. And one of the reasons why is because of women's expectations. One of the main reasons why women have such unrealistic expectations is because of social media, and let me tell you why. So women are often fueled by what they see on social media. It seems like everywhere you look online, there are images of perfect couples, luxury, exotic vacation, lavish gifts, And this is very, very toxic because this is not even real. It's just social media. And these things create an unrealistic standard for women because they expect that from a partner. And men feel like they need to be wealthy or constantly shower women with gifts to be able to measure up. And it's a lot of pressure. It can leave men thinking that they'll never be able to meet these expectations. And as a result, men are just giving up on dating because they feel like they can compete against those fantasy relationships that we see online. And I think it's very, very dangerous because it can lead to self-esteem issues as men feel like they're never gonna be good enough, and this can result in anxiety, depression. So yeah, it's a very, very concerning problem.
Yeah, women don't chase men just like our eggs do not chase the sperm. Our egg sits and it waits, and thousands of little sperm race towards this egg, and only one gets in. Not because it tried the hardest, but because it was the most compatible for her egg. You see, the egg has receptors. It accepts or rejects the sperm. Millions don't make the cut. Some are weak, some are damaged, some are simply wrong for that egg, not compatible. But that egg does not sit there and beg the sperm to chase her. It doesn't convince the sperm to race towards her. It doesn't pursue. It chooses from what shows up, which one is most compatible for her. And that's why women should not chase men. We vet them. We sit back and we observe. We collect data. And then we make a decision on whether or not we're compatible or not. Observation, discernment, selection. We're not chasing for attention. We're not auditioning for love. We're not proving our worth. We're not waiting to be chosen. We do the choosing. Women were never designed to chase after men. We were designed to assess them, filter them, and choose wisely from those who approach with effort, consistency, and compatibility. And that's not playing hard to get. That's just biology doing quality control. So don't be a desperate bitch. Be like your egg and have some self-respect.
You know, and she was talking about be like your egg, have some self-respect. Don't chase a man. Let the man chase you. And I understand what you're saying, but the egg is available. So the sperm can find the egg. A lot of these modern women aren't available. They talk about being it physically, being it emotionally, mentally. They're not available. So there's nothing to fertilize because the eggs are gone. They're destroyed. And even if you're saying, you know, I do have eggs, they might not be great. So even if somebody is shooting their shot, maybe no pun intended, then it doesn't really matter because the eggs are ruined. Basically, they're not good eggs, so you can't really fertilize anything. Number one. Number two. Number three, sometimes there is an issue with a woman's body to where you might treat the man thinking that he's the issue, but really all the time there might be something inside of the woman that's stopping her from being able to get pregnant. And once again, that wouldn't be the man's fault. That would be, let me not say fault, because in that situation, fault is a little harsh and it's a little insensitive. What I mean to say is there might be issues on the other side where you're just sitting, well, I'm just sitting waiting, but you're not though. Some of you guys are not available. Some of you guys are bad. Some of you guys need things you have to work things out of you. You need to consult with an expert on how to fix certain things. And y'all really haven't done that yet. So it doesn't matter what swims or shoots or whatever it is. Nothing is getting fertilized and nothing is coming to fruition. Nothing can grow. Nothing can blossom because you're not ready.
Women don't want to be approached. Except I don't actually think that's true. I think what women don't want is to feel unsafe. And there's a huge difference. I've seen so much debate recently about whether men should be approaching women in public anymore. And I don't think it's as simple as a yes or a no. Because it's not usually the approach itself that's the issue. It's often the context. Like if I'm at a coffee shop, a run club, I'm on a busy tube, or I'm at an event. That's completely different to when I'm walking alone. However, I know that guys get more more nervous to approach when it's in a busy area or you're in a big group. So then it's kind of this catch-22, because I don't think women want less connection. I think we just want more choice over how and when these connections happen. And I recently came across this app called Happn, where if you've crossed paths with someone, you can connect afterwards, instead of having to make that decision in the moment. It just gives that real life element of meeting someone, whilst giving both people the opportunity to decide whether they actually want to start a conversation. Because connection shouldn't come at the expense of feeling unsafe.
There are only 3 kinds of beings in this world that get loved automatically, and that's women, kids, and little puppies. Men, they do not get that luxury. Men are not loved unconditionally. They have to earn it, and let's be honest, that is not fair. From the moment a boy grows up, the message is clear. Your value is in what you provide. Your worth is in what you achieve. Your love is conditional. A man can be loyal, faithful, and good-hearted, but if he loses his job, if he can't provide, if he struggles, watch how quickly that so-called love disappears. Meanwhile, women, they're loved simply for existing. Kids, automatic love. Puppies, automatic love. But men, the very ones who build societies, who break their backs to provide, who carry the weight and responsibility, they are told that love has to be earned. That's not equality. That is not fair. Men get judged by their paychecks, their muscles, their status, their ability to produce and protect. And if they can't measure up, they're disposable. That's the harsh truth that nobody wants to admit. And here's the kicker. Women expect men to show up strong, stoic, protective, ambitious, but then in the same breath, talk about how love should be unconditional. No, not for men, not in this reality that we live in. It is not fair that men have to constantly prove their worth just to be worthy of love. And until we start acknowledging that, men will keep suffering in silence, carrying a burden nobody gives them credit for. So let me say it straight. Men deserve better. Men deserve to be loved, not just for what they do, but for who they are as a man.
Ladies, just because a man tells you you cannot come to his house does not mean he has a wife, does not mean he has a girlfriend. It just means that he values his peace and his safety over your cunt. You women tell men the exact same thing for whatever your reason is. You don't want men to come to your house. That's fine. But when a man tells you no, it means automatically he has a woman or a girlfriend. But men don't say, hey, you must have a man and you must have a husband because you won't let a man come over to your house. But some of you, your ego is so high that you think that all men are just supposed to say yes. Listen, most men will say yes that actually have a house. Most men will say yes, and they will be so excited to have you walk through the door because they know if you as a woman are going to come to their house, you're probably going to smash. However, some men out here, some high-level men, value their peace and their safety and their reputation in their community and are not willing to risk whoever you are to come to their home until they get to know you far more. Now, are there some men that probably have a woman at home? Absolutely. Some of them probably do. But there are some that don't. And I would highly encourage most of you men out here to just don't let just any woman into your house because some of these are crazy as
What's the last remaining feminist taboo? I got a lot of women paying alimony these days. I mean, women marry the handsome musician who's not successful or the artist, there's a lot, it hasn't been, there's been a significant effort in our culture in the last decade, if anyone didn't notice, to improve the situation of women. If you have an equally qualified man and an equally qualified woman, the woman's the diversity hire, the man's not. So I have a lot of women who when they get told oh yeah, no, you got to give him half your or oh no, you got to pay alimony because he makes $50,000 a year and you make $250,000. And they're like, they could be the staunchest feminist in the world. And when you tell them they got to pay alimony, they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. He's a man. He's got a strong back. He can get out there and work. And then suddenly the whole gender is a construct and there's no such thing. That goes right out the window when you get told you got to pay alimony. That's nope, no. I believe in strict gender roles. Men should pay alimony. Women, even if you earn 10 times, you should not have to pay alimony. I've had very, very staunchly feminist clients who changed their mind about how feminist they were when they got told that they were going to have to pay alimony.
A lot of married men are on the down low. Down low meaning they like women and they also like men. but they're married to or are in partnerships with women because they can't publicly be in partnerships with men. So they're on the down low. Here's how to tell if your man is on the down low, which is something you should absolutely know because these men are dangerous because they're living double lives. Is he a cheater? Is he an alcoholic? Is he homophobic? Does he prefer it from the back? Is he a homophobic? Do you ever find your missing, your chonies? Are they ever missing? Is your makeup missing? Because some of these men, when they go on their side quests with their side men, they will sometimes wear makeup and wig. Have you found a wig laying around? If you think your man is on the DL, you better find out for sure because they're dangerous. Because they will take it out on you because they are not living an authentic life, the life that they really want to live because they have fear of how they're going to be perceived by the public and their families and friends and everybody.
For the first time in history, women aren't marrying men for financial stability or material things, just solely based on their character. And we're all single. Yeah, it turns out when women started choosing based on personality, maturity, emotional intelligence, consistency, basic human decency, the dating pool started looking like a clearance rack at 3 a.m. So now here we all are, single together. Back in the day, men had 2 job requirements. 1, don't. 2, provide. Boom, marriage, done. Okay, now women are like, I want a man who communicates, and suddenly the population dropped to 6. They want accountability, self-awareness, healing, growth, a man who can express a feeling without glitching, and we're all just collectively struggling with these new rules. Like, women finally said, okay, we'll handle our own money, our own careers, our own stability. Now show us who you are. And men everywhere were like, oh, you meant like personality. So, yeah, that's why everyone's single. Because the moment character entered the chat, half the roster evaporated. So, yeah, great. Happy New Year, everyone.
I realized I was like going on dates with men and entertaining men that I don't have genuine, authentic, emotional connection with or even attraction to sometimes. I am leveraging for an outcome here. And women do it every day. And so do men. It didn't feel good enough to me. So that is when I stopped going on the dates, thanked my matchmaker with love, and I went to my fertility doctor. And I told him my dilemma. And he said, well, Ebony, you're uniquely positioned in that you can go about motherhood in a solo capacity in New York City. And I researched and I did my due diligence and I decided I'm going to do it. I'm going to come back to this dating marketplace. I'm going to come back no longer trying to fill a void of I need to get a man to make my motherhood dream come true. I'm going to come back as a mother, and I'm going to come back with a purity of intention that says now I am dating exclusively for emotional and romantic connection.
It is still quite a prevalent idea that women in their 30s who are dating are desperate. Like, just after writing the article, I saw the proof because the top comments on social media were, yeah, but you are hitting your biological clock, and like, yeah, but it is desperate and you are the leftovers. I don't know, I do just notice that even among like very like well-meaning people I know, if I say I'm going on loads of dates, people like just automatically assume that the men I'm meeting are these non-committal players and I'm kind of desperately trying to tie down one of them. And I just don't think they would do that if I was a man. I think they'd be like, yeah, fair enough, mate. You got to play the field. You got to see what's out there. You got to be decisive and you know what you want and, don't settle until you find it.
ABC, The Bachelorette, and mainstream media. They thought it was a good idea to have a single mother of 3 in her 30s be the prized possession that multiple men fight for the love for. A single mother that practices against her husband. This is the programming that they're preaching to America today. This is the prized possession that all young men should be going after. A single mom in her 30s that beats on her husband. And you wonder why other countries are laughing at us. This doesn't fly anywhere else in the world. So all of them.
And it's an interesting concept that there was a woman talking about. She's saying, You know, we do want men to approach us, but we want more say so into when men approach us. Well, and she was like, well, you know, basically in so many words, sometimes it's based on how we feel. Like basically the man, depending on the way that you approach, how you approach, it kind of feels weird to us. And I would say I understand where you're coming from, but with the way that a lot of these ladies act, it gets to a point to where you can't really do anything. You can't really approach in any respectful way, according to them, because really, honestly and truly, they don't want to be approached at all. So they're making it like you did something wrong, but you didn't really do anything wrong. That's an issue within them. And that's what men are starting to understand. Number one. Number two, to a certain degree, you don't really pick when your opportunities come along. A lot of these people, like say for instance, you have underground rappers or, you know, actors and actresses who have been, you know, in commercials, extras, or trying to make music for a long, long time. Not everybody's going to make it for whatever reason. They're just not going to make it. Some people got the opportunity. They just happen to be somewhere and a famous celebrity or whatever said, man, we like this person, and they get the opportunity. Somebody else doesn't. So you never know when your opportunity is going to come. And whenever it does, you have to make the most of it. Modern women aren't doing that. They're turning men down left and right, talking about I have plenty of opportunities. And it's not that. That is not the case.
But if you close your emotional, emotional.
Here's why everybody's dating life sucks, and here's exactly how you're going to fix it. Dating is completely broken nowadays because of social media and because of dating apps. I've said this 100 times, and here's exactly why it is. Meeting somebody on a dating app is much like starting a business relationship via cold call. You don't have any relationship with them, you don't know them, you didn't get referred, you have no reason to be talking other than you look pretty good. Social media makes it extremely easy for people to cheat, not be loyal, and weigh their options because they think they've got so many people waiting in the background. And guess what? Both of these tools are tools used to attract or meet people, not tools used to understand how to form a healthy relationship or to help you understand that maybe you should limit your options to 1 or 2 options, especially early on, and after a few dates, stop weighing your options. If you want your dating life to suck less, you should start meeting more people in person and stop focusing so much on meeting people that don't even live anywhere near you or online.
Why are so many men refusing to get married? This is an interesting question, and I don't know if men actually are refusing to get married or not, but it could be a few things. It could be that there's misconceptions about what marriage is. We hear a lot about who benefits from marriage. Is there a benefit to marriage? We hear a lot about men who are taken advantage of in the divorce process or feel like they lost something. I also think there's this mindset where you're with someone, but you're wondering if something better is out there. So why would you commit to marriage if you're worried you're gonna miss out on something better? What I would say to women in that situation is if your partner doesn't wanna marry you and you wanna get married, leave, break up, that's gonna end with you guys breaking up anyway. And if you're a single man who never wants to get married, let us know why. We're really curious.
As a woman, I can admit what most women want. Dating is brutally unequal, and average men pay the price for it. The average woman doesn't need to become exceptional to have options. The average man usually does. He has to earn attention, earn respect, earn attraction, earn the right to even be considered. And if he's average, he gets overlooked fast. That's the part people keep lying about. Women talk about equality, but when it comes to dating, men are still expected to bring more, do more, and be more just to qualify. That's why so many men are frustrated. They aren't crazy. They're reacting to a system that's far less forgiving to them. The average woman starts with options. The average man starts by proving he deserves any.
All women say they want a good man until they actually meet one and realize they're not equipped to handle him. A good man is not convenient. He doesn't bend to accommodate chaos. He doesn't rearrange his values because you're emotional. A real good man has discipline, boundaries, and priorities that don't shift based on your mood. And this is where women get confused. When you've never met emotional maturity, you misread everything. You call him cold because he won't tolerate drama. You call him selfish because he protects his peace. You label him detached because he refuses to beg for your approval. But that's not coldness. That is self-respect. A man who knows his worth doesn't move from insecurity. He moves from conviction. Good men don't chase drama.
Yeah.
They don't chase chaos.
Yeah.
And they sure as hell don't chase women who weaponize emotion. They build, they lead, they create order. Most women aren't ready for the responsibility that comes with a stable man, because stability doesn't feed your need for emotional roller coasters. It doesn't scratch that itch for unpredictable validation. For women raised in dysfunction, peace feels boring until you lose it. A good man requires partnership, respect, and a woman who's emotionally regulated, not reactive, not reckless. Stay solid. Good men don't bend. They build. And the right woman rises to meet him.
If you talk to me like that again, I'll walk away. Boundaries are not control. They are about preserving peace. Here's 3 ways to set boundaries without looking weak or cold. Number 1, decide what you will and won't accept. Make that clear. You can't defend a line that you haven't drawn. Number 2, communicate it clearly once. Say it calm and direct. If you talk to me like that again, I'll walk away. And number 3, enforce it every time. It's good for you, it's good for them. No emotion, no argument, just consistency. People respect what you protect. Boundaries are not walls, they are proof that you respect yourself.
Most recent reason that I have been rejected was quote unquote because I am not submissive enough. Which does track in this generation. It does track. I'm a single mom who pays all my own bills, works my off, and raises my kids on my own. I don't like being like this. This is not fun for me. But at the same time, this is what I've had to do to make it in this world. I've really not had a choice. And then when I have tried, I have met so many men that are complaining about working like a 7-hour workday when I've been up since 5 a.m. and I'm not done with my duties until about 9:30 p.m. And they're me about how tired they are. And it's just hard to feel led. It's hard to feel like that's the leader I'm supposed to be submissive to. You know what I mean? So these men now want us to be submissive, even though we are busting our ass at work, taking care of the kids, paying the bills. Submissive to what? If anyone wonders why I'm single, it's because I wear the pants and I'm not going to find someone until he wears bigger pants than I do. And again, I don't enjoy wearing the pants, for the record, I don't.
Manosphere.
What did you learn from that?
I hate men.
You dating someone now? You seen someone now? Or?
No, I'm totally single now because I hate men.
No, you can't hate men, girl.
No, I hate men.
Hate's a powerful word.
I hate men.
Why do you hate men? Why do you hate men because of one man?
Manosphere.
What did you learn from that?
I hate men.
No, but you got to tell me, you got to elaborate why you hate men.
Because it's disgusting.
No, just say you see the man of your dreams tonight and you think, oh, I hate men. What are you meant to do?
Be very rare.
Just say you did. So you got some leeway there. Look, she got some leeway now. So you don't hate all men, then, do you? Until the right man comes along, basically.
It would be very, very, very rare that the right man would come along. Are you in a relationship?
I'm not, no.
Are you single?
I am, yes.
Why are you single?
I choose to be.
You choose to be?
Yeah, too many options out there.
Why? Oh, the interviewer of this conversation is part of the manosphere because he chooses to be single. But he chooses to be single because there's too many options. So what he basically is saying is the grass is always greener on the other side, which actually backs up my opinion in the sense that that's why we hate men, because men always think that there's something better on the other side.
I'm not saying there's anything better on the other side.
Anyone that's listening to this right now, men ain't
and haters gonna hate.
And haters gonna hate.
Like you.
It goes for both male and females. He didn't just stop loving you overnight. He stopped feeling respected by you. Men rarely leave all at once. They leave piece by piece, and it's not usually the big screaming fights. It's the small little jabs, the sarcasm, the eye pulls, the way you dismiss him in front of others. Every little moment chips away at his spirit until eventually he's done. He shuts down. He stops opening up. He stops sharing his world with you. And then he stops trying altogether because it's too late. That's why you see so many men who look physically present, but inside, they've already left. Disrespect doesn't just bruise his ego, it suffocates the relationship. It kills intimacy, it kills desire, and once that connection is gone, it's one of the hardest things to bring back. So don't starve your relationship with constant disrespect for your partner. Don't think love alone can survive it, because once he checks out emotionally, the rest is only a matter of time. If this hit home for you, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from both the men and the women on this one. I know it can be a touchy subject, but that's what I'm here to do. Bring light to the subjects that not everybody wants to talk about, but we need to talk about it.
This might sound crazy, but I think that this person is onto something, because what I will say is that I've also spoken to some male friends about these unrealistic standards around dating and these expectations that some women hold around, well, if he's not buying me XYZ, then like, why would I be with him? A friend had shared that he once didn't like get a second date with a girl because she was turned off by the fact that he didn't call her like an Uber black car or something. And these types of stories really piss me off, because it's painting this really negative picture that like most and all women just want men to pay for things. And I'm sure there are women out there like that. And that's a problem, because that's not a real relationship. Just expecting that a man financially provides everything for you. At least that's not my idea of a relationship. So the men that are subjected to these types of women, I really, I can understand why there's this resentment, or there's this pressure placed on men if they think that most women are like this. So women should not be demanding in that way. I don't think that's healthy. I don't think that's the healthy basis or foundation of a relationship. So I can see how that perpetuates these feelings among men. But this is a whole separate topic also. Like, it's part of the bigger problem, it's part of the conversation, but it's like a tangential, like, separate dialogue too.
And we have a lot of these ladies that continue to ask why men don't want to get married. And maybe this is just me, but men have already told you over and over again, this is why men don't want to get married. But y'all don't care. Y'all will sit there and argue a man down about what he just said. I don't want to get married. I feel like it's a con job. I feel like I'm not receiving anything. I feel like at some point in time, I'm going to get screwed. I feel that even before we get to marriage, I feel that way about being in a relationship. I feel that way about having to take somebody out. I don't know if I don't know if this woman likes me. I'm not sure about anything. Nobody's giving me any direction, well, you're a man, you're supposed to know the direction. I'm a human just like you. I don't know what's going on. So if at some point in time you can give me a signal and say, yep, you're going in the right direction, I would love that. That's why I don't want to get married. Nobody's giving me any signal. Nobody's giving me any reassurance. Nobody's telling me, okay, I got your back. Modern women aren't doing that. The only thing that they're saying is, you better have my back. You better have my back. For richer, for poor, for better, for worse. You better have my back. But I'm not going to have you. Some women outright say, I'm not going to have yours. Why would I get married if I got to make a commitment to you, but you don't have to make a commitment to me?